Good morning, I'm Emily Barkan. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Rebecca Castor. Here's a look at some of the stories we'll be talking about over the next hour.
Coming up this morning, students are gathering to protest the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Find out how they plan to make their voices heard.
And campus seminars are teaching students how to combine social media and politics to make a change. These are not just your average Twitter rants.
Plus, dining halls are missing something this semester, but you may not even have known they existed in the first place.
All that plus your weather and orange sports coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill.
Our top story this hour, a student organization is speaking out against the controversial nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Our Dominic Musillo is live on the SU Quad and has more on the story. Dom, good morning.
I sat down yesterday with members of SASE, that's students advocating sexual safety and empowerment. They've made their opposition to Kavanaugh known. They believe the recent allegations made against him make him unfit for the nation's highest court. SASE is a nonprofit organization at Syracuse that supports sexual and reproductive justice. Their goal is to promote a safe atmosphere on campus for not only women, but all people affected by gender injustice. SASE President Chris Leota says the group isn't afraid to stand up for what they believe.
We also like to be really active, so not just talking, but like walking the walk is what we like to say. We protest on campus, whether it's the chancellor, Title IX violations, or even right now with Kavanaugh and everything. Right now, we're making posters because we're going to protest and stand in solidarity with other survivors and victims. On Thursday, there's a national solidarity speak out.
Along that vein, SASE members are speaking out against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who has been accused of sexual assault and harassment by 2 women. He denies the allegations. Tomorrow on Capitol Hill, Kavanaugh will answer questions from senators, as will one of his accusers, Christine Ford. The Senate Judiciary Committee has scheduled a vote on Kavanaugh's nomination for Friday morning. SASE members oppose Kavanaugh's nomination and intend to be a visible presence on campus once again, making their voices heard. Live on the SU Quad, I'm Dom Musillo for Mornings on the Hill.
Time to check your weather for today.
Becca Gutierrez is live to tell us what to expect. Hi, Becca.
Hi, thanks, Emily and Rebecca. Summer-like humidity has surged back into Syracuse with cloudy and wet next few days. Today's high is at a 75. Thunderstorms are about to start at 11 a.m., so don't forget your rain jacket like I did. Looking ahead to this weekend, you can expect early morning showers on Saturday, leading into mostly clear skies on Sunday, with a low of 75. On Sunday, the morning will be brisk and mostly clear, with showers developing later in the night. So Sunday and Saturday looking great for your weekend. You can perfect fall activities, apple picking, pumpkin patching, perfect for your Instagram pictures, perfect weather, perfect Instagram pictures. I'm Becca Gutierrez, out here on University Ave, back in the studio to you.
Thanks, Becca. Activism in the Digital Age was the first of 3 in a series of seminars exploring social media's influence in today's political climate. The seminar explored the power of participation on social media platforms.
Social media has changed the way people join conversation and raise awareness for social movements like Black Lives Matter. The panel featured 3 professors, including SU's own Dr. Biko Gray, a professor of religion in the College of Arts and Sciences.
These movements are now emerging on Twitter, I think in large part because Black Lives Matter galvanized social media to be incredibly effective in terms of raising awareness.
The seminar series, Social Media and Democracy, is co-sponsored by the Newhouse School and the School of Information Studies. The next panel in the series, titled Fake News, Language Analysis, and Online Influence, will be on October 16th.
And the last panel will be on November 14th and examine how social media impacted the November midterms.
There's something missing in SU's dining halls this year. Don't worry, the pizza and pasta are still there, but plastic straws are not.
Syracuse University is next on the list of places banning the use of plastic straws. According to SU's dining director, the ban is a simple thing the university can do that will make a big impact on the environment, and students don't seem to mind.
The university knows that some students need to use a straw. Therefore, paper straws will soon be available in all dining halls for students. The switch from plastic to paper straws will make composting leftover food easier for employees and improve the school's sustainability. The College of Arts and Sciences has created a new position to help students. Professor Kishi Ducre is the new Associate Dean of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Ducre says she will use her role to represent all students and promote a learning environment.
The College of Arts and Sciences has a wide variety of majors that Ducre is hoping to inspire. She says that she is focused on how people's characteristics come together to benefit classes and working relationships. The new position is compared to a Chief Diversity Officer who makes sure all voices are heard.
The university is stamping its name into the scientific world once again.
Staff and students are furthering the research of cannabis-based drugs across the nation.
Syracuse University just published a paper on cannabis-based drugs and experimental pain. This paper is the first systematic review to be completed on the effects of these drugs on laboratory-induced pain. Results show that cannabinoid drugs make people feel less pain. It does not reduce the intensity, but instead increases one's pain threshold so that someone's pain tolerance also grows mildly.
A group of doctoral candidates and professors from SU's Department of Psychology have been looking at the U.S. studies on the effects of cannabis-based drugs from the last 40 years. Graduate student Martin DeVita says the review has clarified scientifically the effects cannabis-based drugs have on the human body.
We still don't know much about it. I mean, we were able to clarify this mixed literature and say, hey, you know, cannabis might not necessarily get rid of the pain or reduce its intensity, but all those negative emotions that you feel because of the pain, it might make those improve.
DeVita says the next step is to study the effects through physical experiments and to also find out if the conclusion of this paper can be applied to clinical populations.
And coming up on Mornings on the Hill.
Catching your ride on game day is now hassle-free. Find out what Uber and Lyft are doing to make that possible.
Also coming up, stay with us so you can learn how you can make it backstage for the new Syracuse stage production. Stay with us for these stories and more, coming up on Mornings on the Hill. Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. Catching rides on game day has proven to be difficult in the past for SU sports fans.
But now it's much easier. Syracuse University has designated a new parking lot for ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft to pick up and drop off riders after events in the Carrier Dome. Previously, riders and drivers had problems finding each other with large groups of people exiting the stadium. The university and the services decided to team up and fix the system to make it more user-friendly.
Since the beginning of football season, students and fans have found it much more convenient.
Last weekend I went to the game and it was so easy. You just walk right down to the designated area. You know that the cars are going to be waiting for you. There's like no hassle and you can like always tell. People are super clear about it and there's almost like a taxi line type of situation.
Fans can follow the signs outside of the Carrier Dome to find the designated area where rides will wait for them. In light of Syracuse's recent rankings as one of the top 10 poorest cities in the USA, a San Diego-based artist is telling the stories of people impacted most by poverty.
A local gallery in the Holly Green neighborhood is hoping his art will inspire conversations that can lead to solutions for those who need it most, right here at home. It's impossible not to see the weathered faces in the massive portraits that hang from the Art Rage gallery walls, and that's the entire point. In his show titled Invisible People, San Diego artist Neil Shigley features massive portraits of the homeless people he meets near his studio in downtown San Diego. Shigley hopes the larger-than-life portraits can help tell the stories of forgotten members in our society.
There's stories behind all these people, that they're not just homeless because that's where they want to be. It's that everybody has their own story.
Art Rage has partnered with local homeless outreach organization In My Father's Kitchen in the hopes of raising awareness about homelessness here in Syracuse. A panel discussion on the root causes of homelessness will take place at Art Rage tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. The show runs through October 7th and is free to all. Members of the Syracuse stage are looking to get a larger local audience for this upcoming season.
To increase these numbers, they're reaching out to the community. Our own Taylor Epps is live in studio to give us a backstage look.
Thanks, Emily and Rebecca. Each season, the Syracuse stage hosts a variety of onstage productions from fun musicals to heartwarming plays. Over the weekend, community members got a preview of what's in store this season. The Syracuse stage was filled with students and members of the community last Saturday, but this time they weren't there to see a show. Members of the stage held an open house to break down barriers and welcome all members of the community.
I want the community to feel always welcome. That's the idea behind any theater as well. Theater is created for the community.
There were opportunities to see performances like the Bank of America Children's Tour production of Miss Electricity, and a sneak peek of SU Drama's production of Into the Woods. But visitors also got a chance to go behind the scenes. There were backstage tours that allowed visitors to participate in the theater experience. Some visitors got to take some pieces of the stage home with them. The Syracuse stage is selling props and costumes so that the community can feel like the stars of the show.
My goodness, it's wonderful because Halloween is so big in Syracuse. Everybody loves it. They decorate, they have parties, and I love it since I was a little girl, so can't beat the Syracuse stage.
Even SU drama students got in on the fun.
Oh, it's so cool. I mean, it's we're still like in a kind of bubble, like in the university setting, but I mean, I saw the children's tour this morning, and just like there was like a little girl who raised her hand at the end of it, asked like, do you have any advice for someone who like wants to get into acting? And it was like almost like brought me to tears just seeing like the community together and getting into theater. And
Director Yarrow hopes the stage gives people an opportunity to escape reality and explore their creativity. She also hopes the open house brings more SU students down to what she calls Syracuse's stage. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Taylor Epps. Emily and Rebecca, back to you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. 3 Syracuse University students have a new sports update show strictly highlighting women on the Hill.
Our Alasia Williams is live in studio with this morning with those students.
Thanks. I'm joined this morning by Isis Young and Tamar Turner. All right, so tell me a little bit about your show.
So the Women's Sports Update, it's me, Kayla, and Tamar who are on the show. We air it weekly on YouTube, and we kind of just update our viewers on women's sports throughout the week. So we talk about fall sports, and then we talk about spring sports, give them an update on scores, sometimes post-game interviews, and just things like that to let people know how our women are doing on the Hill.
Okay, that's great. So Tamar, can you tell me why you joined the show? Isis is a veteran, so I'll focus on you.
So actually, in talking to Ice, she told me that the past involvement, it was predominantly women, that a lot of males really weren't getting involved. And I just know that typically males aren't watchers of like women's sports and everything like that. But on the contrary, I actually enjoy women's sports and everything like that. I thought it would be a good way just for me to be more in tune with what's going on here at Syracuse, how the women are doing. A lot of the teams are actually doing really well, so I just wanted to become a part of the team. So she let me join, so I'm grateful for that.
Great. Okay, so what type of audience are you guys trying to attract with the show?
I think predominantly male college students because a lot of them focus on our men's sports, and so it's pretty cool for them to see a women's sports update, me being a women's basketball player, to see me being active and reporting on other women. And so I think that a lot of our sports fans in college are men, and so that's who we're really trying to attract. And then we obviously have a couple of viewers from home that watch. My parents watch faithfully because I send it to them. So yeah, but I think that's predominantly our area we're targeting.
Really hot. Okay. Okay, so for this question, so with the main focus being on men and women's sports seems to get foreshadowed, why do you feel like it's important or necessary to focus on women in your show?
I would say it's really important just because they're competing just as hard as the men here are. A couple of the women teams are actually ranked. They play on a weekly basis. Sometimes they even have 2 games during the week, which is a lot, especially when you're a student and just going through your daily schedule about how you're doing and different things like that. So I definitely think it's important for the university to be cohesive and just support everyone just as much as you would support the men, try to pack out the dome and everything like that. You should do the same when it comes to the women.
All right. right, so if I was a student tuning into your show, what about your show would attract me and can make me continue to watch your show?
So we do this series called Twitter Talk, and in Twitter Talk we have our own Twitter for our show. And so we encourage people to tweet us different questions. So whether you say, you know, hey, is Ruse Weirs playing today? You know, she had a game winner last game. Or, hey, what is soccer going to do? They're on a 2-game losing streak, different things like that. And so we open up our show with opening a tweet from whoever sent it to us and talking about it. And so if you're a viewer, you know that you're getting, you know, a real experience with us because you're able to tweet and we're able to talk to you and give feedback and things. And then we're pretty fun too. Yeah. I think so.
I mean, we look good. I would say like we put our all into it every week. We try to give you the best of the best, the highlights. We definitely do try to get involved a lot with social media because we know that's that's kind of the audience. That's
all right. So thanks once again for joining us, Tyson Tamar. I'm Malaysia Williams. Back to you live in the studio.
Good morning, Orange Nation. I'm Becca Gutierrez with your Orange Buzz, What's Trending on the Hill. You might remember pop star Ariana Grande and her fiance Pete Davidson were in Syracuse this summer while the comedian was filming his new movie. Well, on Monday, he revealed his thoughts on the city on the Howard Stern show, saying Syracuse, you know, it's trash. Like you might have guessed, people were not happy and turned to Twitter to share how they felt. So we're going to check out Amanda. Said, never even heard of Pete Davidson until today, but now I know he is trash. We have another tweet from Sophie. Sophie says, so Pete Davidson thinks that Staten Island is better than Syracuse and that Syracuse is trash? All right. We have another tweet from Linda. Pete Davidson called Syracuse trash. Who cares? Syracuse better off without you visiting. You are not that big of a celebrity. And one more we have. Lord said, Pete Davidson called Syracuse trash, LMAO. So, no matter how students feel about Pete Davidson, he will be back in Syracuse this weekend on Sunday performing a stand-up comedy show at Funkin' Waffles in downtown Syracuse. And that's your Orange Buzz. I'm Becca Gutierrez live in the studio. Casey Busher is up next with Orange Sports.
Sean Riley was the showstopper in the Carrier Dome. Riley had an electrifying 69-yard punt return for a touchdown early in the third and then added a 49-yard touchdown reception in the fourth quarter. Riley competed the afternoon with 290 yards, all-purpose yards, the fourth best single game total in team history. Eric Dungy stepped up for Syracuse once again. Dungy rushed for 77 yards and 3 touchdowns, passed for 286 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Orange beat former Big East rival 51-21 to continue its early season surge. The Orange have yet to trail this season. Syracuse football looks for their 5th win of the season this Saturday as they take on number 3 team in the country, the Clemson Tigers. Dino Babers has confidence that his team will be able to have the same type of energy that they had against Clemson last year.
I mean, I think the biggest difference is that A, they're going to be ready to go, and we're not going to have our home crowd with us. They're going to have their home crowd with them, and that's a big advantage. I know 2 years ago when we went down there, we had a lot of difficulties, couldn't hear. It's going to be extremely loud, but you know, that's how it's supposed to be in a big game when you're going into somebody else's place.
Syracuse heads to Clemson this weekend to take on the 3rd-ranked Tigers on Saturday at noon in Death Valley. Here's a glimpse at what happened last year between Clemson and Syracuse. One of the biggest upsets in college football history was Syracuse taking down Clemson last season. The upset brought the Tigers one of their 2 losses last year. To start out the game, Dungy finds Zaire Franklin on his right side. He gets past one defender, and then he is free all the way to the end zone for the 23-yard score. It's no surprise that Eric Dungy was a huge factor in Clemson's game last year for the Orange. Dungy threw a 200-yard and 78-yard and 3 touchdowns. Cole Murphy kicked the go-ahead field goal in the fourth quarter to give the Orange a 27-24 victory. Last year, the Tigers had won 12 consecutive away games and 11 games overall. That was the longest active winning streak in the nation. Let's see if the Orange can do it again on Saturday in Death Valley. That's all for your sports update. Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, Dunkin' Donuts is changing their name. Stay with us, this story and more just ahead.
Starting in January, Dunkin' Donuts is dropping the donuts from its name. The company said it's trying to rebrand itself as a beverage-led company.
According to Dunkin', beverages make up about 60% of the company's sales. Don't worry though, you can still buy your favorite donuts from the fast food chain.
Now let's see what's happening on campus this weekend.
I'm Sunny Sai, and here's what's going on this weekend. Here on the Hill. Tomorrow until Saturday, Syracuse is hosting a Human Rights Film Festival screening. There will be a different film and location each night, so you can visit suhrff.syr.edu for more information. Come out and challenge your minds and bodies on the quad Friday night for Orange After Dark Grit and Wit. There will be a series of mental and physical challenges that you and your team compete in. Food and beverages will be provided. Tune in Saturday at noon as SU football takes on rival team at Clemson University. Also on Saturday night, catch the premiere showing of the new animated film Smallfoot at Regal's Destiny USA. Tickets are $3 and buses will be leaving from College Place and Goldstein Student Center. Red House is having their last showing of Steel Magnolias this Sunday at 2 p.m. Visit redhouse.org for more information. And that's Weekends on the Hill. I'm Sunny Sai.
Weight Watchers is cutting more than weight. The company is officially changing its name to WW. The change comes as the company wants to focus more on health and wellness as a whole versus emphasizing diets and food.
Another change coming to Weight Watchers is their partnership with Headspace, a meditation app. Members will begin to see these changes at the start of the new year, along with new food options and rewards. So several companies making name changes this year, also with IHOP changing to IHOB, then going back to IHOP. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think it will work for these companies, Dunkin' and Weight Watchers?
I mean, they know what their products are, they know what sells, so I'm assuming it's going to be a great change. I'm excited. I'll see if people start referring it to just Dunkin', which I think they already do, so should be fine, but I'm very excited for them. Seems like a good change, so.
I think people trust their products, so they're definitely going to keep going even though their brand names are changing because their official brand name is still there.
That will do it for us this morning. I'm Emily Barkan. Thanks for watching Orange Nation.
And I'm Rebecca Castor. Check us out on social media and send us your story ideas. See you next week, Wednesday at 10 a.m. right here on OTN.
Great show.